Oh man. Oh man. Episode 13, Paint to the Pit, which
Lucky
I
it was 13.
titled What is Happening in the World? Oh man, listen. We gonna start with the topic of topics. Of course, y'all know we gonna touch on the Royal Rumble, how we felt about it, but the topics of topics in all the sports right now is the
LA.
Los Angeles Lakers have traded Anthony Davis, Max Christie to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic, Max Kleber, Markieff Morris. There's some firsts in there. Jalen Hood Shafino goes over to the Jazz and the Dale, and they get a couple picks. But boy,
Yep.
Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Listen, I'll gracefully, as the Lakers fan, I'll kick this one off. Just yo, what? What, bro? In the wee hours after watching the Lakers and
What just
LeBron put
happened?
on a nice show in the Garden, Bronny Jr. got in the game. We got Luka Doncic to the. I don't even want to start with me because I'm still processing. My fault. We gotta go straight to. I was around Jay last night. We was kind of talking about it. I ain't getting no feedback from no thoughts on it yet. How you feeling? Anthony Davis is a Dallas Maverick. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. Talk to me, please.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm still processing it because it's kind of one. I found out late. I found out an hour after it. I'm sitting here going on IG about to do a regular scrolling, and I come across a picture of Anthony Davis in the Dallas jersey. I'm like, what is? I'm like, bro. When I came across AD in the Dallas jersey, I was just so confused.
Before I show my excitement for what Luka will be, in a Lakers uniform. And the Lakers still got a lot to figure out, right? They still got a lot of roster construction they got to do after the trade, which I don't think they're done. I also think this makes Austin Reeves in the trade a little bit more, digestible, I guess, if you're a Lakers fan, right? If you could package him and Rui with something else. But starting with AD, man, I can't wait for the tribute package. I think he comes back to LA the end of February. Gotta get that man a lot of respect. Luka, bro, like 25-year-old superstar, not
Crazy.
even at his prime yet. And the Mavericks gave him up for Anthony Davis. And now y'all know how I feel about Kyrie, my favorite player in the league. So of course, Dallas automatically gets bumped to probably like my second or third favorite team to watch and cheer for, which probably I already do. But I love it. I don't know what it does for the Lakers this year. Got to see what other moves they make for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, thank you, Dallas, for helping us hit the reset button much quicker than I was worried. As a Lakers fan, you try not to think 2, 3 as a fan of a sport. I was getting worried. I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
Bron finishing up, bro. Bron got another maybe year left, maybe year 2 being nice. Like, what is it going to look like for us? But boy, the
Yeah.
future bright, man. The future bright, and I think when teams are able to position themselves somewhat for the now and for the future, you got to give that team credit. And if I'm the Lakers, I sleep haven't had the opportunity to sleep on this. If I'm the Lakers, I do this trade 10 out of 10 times. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I
You
don't
have
I
to.
don't hesitate. I don't hesitate on getting a 25-year-old top 3 player in the league. Maybe top 5, you would argue, but top 5 for sure, but top 3 arguably. So how you feeling about it, Jay? While we still give all a little bit more
I,
time to process. How you feeling about it?
I have so many thoughts, bro. First off, just my initial reaction. I'm like, yo, we walk into the car, bro. You remember that? Like,
I
I'm
remember.
looking at my
I
phone.
remember.
ESPN message hit. I'm like reading. I'm like, wait, this has to be like a
Yo,
hacker. So like somebody got hacked. Like what?
yo,
And then I just said it, and we just like dead stop. Like, yo, what?
yo, what just happened?
Um, it's a crazy trade. I can't say whether I like or dislike it. I mean, obviously it's great for the Lakers. I think. But me just being an AD fan, I'm like, damn man, AD is my
It
guy.
hurts.
I thought
It
that's my
hurts.
favorite player, man. I like watching this guy
It
cook.
hurts.
You know, I went to go see him in that Staples Center one time. The pandemic year they won the title, dropped 40 and 20 on the Grizzlies. Oh man, that was fucking fun times. But it just yeah yeah. I mean, the Lakers needed to do that. I think. You know, like you
Yeah,
said, a 25-year-old guy is just touching his prime. Like you got AD,
Yeah.
he's about to be 32. LeBron, obviously, he's getting to the end. So anything they could
It's
make a
crazy.
way to solidify their future, I think you have to bet on it, right? Like you have to take that chance. You know, and then we start seeing all the reasons as to why they traded Luka with the GM fell. They saying his
Yeah.
defense, this that, the contract, he gaining weight. And I'm like, hey man, you put anybody on a new team, they gonna reform. They're gonna go back to their ways. So I can't even imagine what he's gonna do on that team. Like you playing with Braun
Yeah.
one, but it's also Lucas still. So it's like,
Bro. That's
that's
Luka Doncic, and like to get
yeah.
to the nerdy kind of basketball, diving a little deeper into it. Like, if you can kind of like to stay the conversation. If you Dallas, right? Make this make sense for me. If you Dallas, like why? I read kind of the reports, all right, Luka's conditioning and stuff like, but 25 year old superstar, and in the prime of his career, make this make sense to me. Like if you Dallas, like I think the Lakers side of it is a little easier to digest, but make this make sense for me if you Dallas.
I mean, that's been the hardest thing for me to understand because it's like Luka is 25. You gotta look at everything like that.
Yeah,
The anomaly of it. 25-year-old just had a finals appearance, first finals appearance. He's traded the next year, not a year.
yeah,
It hasn't even been a full year. So
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Wow. So it gives you a red flag. One for me personally, if I was a GM, even the Lakers GM, I would get a red flag off rip because it makes me worry about why they want to trade Luka.
yeah,
It got to be something more than just defense.
yeah.
It got to,
No, for sure.
and it makes me worried about his seriousness of the sport because they still in the championship rings even with a poor record. To me, they was waiting for their
Yeah,
best player to come back, but they was playing pretty well and staying above water. Now they have to replace him with a new quote unquote best player, and I'm not gonna lie, it puts Anthony Davis in the best chance to win in
yeah,
the next year or two. So for Dallas, I think the reason they made the trade is for the opportunity for the GM, quote unquote, to put a stamp on like he's the right person to have the job. Him and the new owner, they have a new majority owner and the new GM. So I think they both wanted to stamp on their era
yeah,
going forward. So I think that's the real reason that they personally made the trade. I felt like they had to look at the way things was going with Luka, and obviously he was going to need time to get back to form more than what they were willing to wait. I think due
yeah,
to the weight and the injuries, but I understand the trade. I can understand it for both sides. I think that Anthony Davis was the perfect fit for them because Jason Kidd was, of course, an assistant coach on the Lakers when they won the championship.
yeah.
With that being what's the word I'm looking for?
Familiarity. There we go.
None of us got it.
I ain't gonna repeat it.
Yeah, right. I was with you, bro. Down that hill together. I don't mind.
We gonna delete that.
Familiar. All right, cool. Yeah, y'all know what we saying.
That's the reason why I feel like the trade was perfect for Jason Kidd and AD. I think they're going to work out really well together. Of course, as a point guard, Jason Kidd was always the big man's point guard, so he's going to find spots for AD to, of course, be the number one option and best player on the team, and then hopefully win the championship because AD is going to be back at power forward full time now, so he has no more.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they got two tough centers over there who plays a lot of defense. They both play a lot of defense over there.
I was thinking about that too.
AD off the help side. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be hectic for people to have Kyrie fully locked in on only offense because he got so much help behind him on defense.
They gonna
Yeah.
have teams forcing the bomb threes. Like,
And
Crazy.
hopefully everybody, like, I know Derek Lively is going to be out for like the next 3 months, I believe,
Yeah,
with an injury. So hopefully he could get back quickly. Well,
he the
obviously three
franchise
months.
though, and the backup center been playing so amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be exciting. But Jay, from your perspective, like, all right, so now you're the Lakers, right?
mhm.
Looking at the landscape, obviously, you got Braun, you still got Reeves, you still got Rui, you got Dalton Connect, you got, a lot of these players that are probably, well, Austin Reeves is, I believe, a little bit above average. I'm not going to call him elite. I'm not going to call him a star or superstar, but Austin Reeves is above average and playing like it. Do you package Austin Reeves in the trade now that you got Luka?
Ooh.
Is it a little bit easier to, you know, digest the
Ah,
Austin Reeves trade package?
that one's tough, man. Good question. Honestly, ship off Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
No question.
A lot of it was, we're not trading Austin Reeves for anything. And a part of me is happy. Like, if he's a part of this trade, Dallas wins this trade by a landslide to me.
Mhm.
But I think him not being a part of this trade was huge for the Lakers. I think that was important. And I
Like,
think they still got another first round pick that they can trade. So it probably does. But how you feeling about it,
like,
Jay?
like I want to say keep him, but at the same time, it's like the value like that he had. What was he at, like 18, 5 and 5 or something like that this season?
Yeah, something like
And
that.
then now they
He
already
set
have
up.
the issue. I know O was telling me this the other day, yesterday. He was telling me the issue of like what they do about the front court, right?
Yeah,
So maybe they ship him off for a big. Obviously, Luka, he commands the ball, so that could be worse for Austin Reeves. Who
Oh,
knows? Like we could see his numbers easily go go down to like 12 points.
here,
Like him and like
we
LeBron
got
and Luka just come in, so much, yeah, like so much just of the court, like.
yeah.
So yeah, I just don't know who you moving for. Like, how do
Miles Turner.
you think so? Oh
I don't
man,
think they have to move Austin Reeves to get Miles Turner though. Specifically, Miles Turner, I don't think they got to.
that's true.
I think
That's
I
true.
think if they put Rui in and they offer that other first round pick, I think that's more than enough to get Miles Turner. Especially because where Miles Turner is contract wise, right? Because he's a free agent.
Whatever they could do to get Miles Turner, that's the only
Yeah,
thing I want to see the Lakers get.
yeah,
Anybody?
nah, for sure.
It's like
Yeah, Jackson Hayes not it.
I think Jackson Hayes. I think Jackson Hayes is going to play really well with Luka.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes
But
is
they
a
played together.
serviceable. Jackson Hayes is a serviceable backup. So, like, if you only got to play Jackson Hayes for about 20, 22 minutes, I
Mm.
think that's where you want to keep Jackson Hayes at. When you start asking him for 30 minutes a game, yeah, no, no, foul trouble.
You fried.
But one thing
Yeah, for
about
sure.
Luka and Trey, they shine with players like Jackson Hayes, like a lob threat. They be killing
Yeah,
against those type of players. So I think Jackson Hayes is actually a good fit. I didn't know Kleber was injured,
I didn't know that either.
yeah, he got a stress fracture, I think, or something like that. I don't think he coming back this year.
broken foot.
Broken foot, broken
Mm.
Yeah,
foot.
broken foot.
Yeah, he's not coming
He's
back
not
this year.
coming back
But
till
I
next
mean,
season.
if healthy, that's like a pretty good shooting piece, right? Like that's kind of what they've been searching for. It seems like.
Yeah, he's a good trade piece.
Mm.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, like
The bomb
definitely.
threes, shoots a high
Definitely a
percent.
good trade piece. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, bro, like Luka's a Laker. Like, I can't get over that fact. But I do agree. Like, if I'm looking at the landscape from this season, like who they're saying is available and stuff, I don't know where like the Austin Reeves trade to come from. But I do think anybody else giving up that extra first round pick that they got that they could trade for like a Miles Turner. I agree, but I don't really see like anything else that would kind of make sense involving Austin Reeves. And I don't know like what centers out there on the market. Like you
Yeah,
got Valanciunas from Washington. Like come on, like he's like Timberlands
I was
boots
just
on defense, bro. Like
for
he
sure.
can't he can't guard a cone. And I know
Cinder
they
blocks.
got Vucevic in the yeah, what's it? Yeah. So just like trade targets that I don't think we really super high on in the front court. But it's gonna be fun to see what they do. Now, moving forward, moving forward, right? Like if you're Dallas, right? Are you done? Like you feel like you got that team that you wanna take to the playoffs with? Do you feel like Dallas got to make another move or two, or you think
Mm,
they locked in for
mm.
for a playoff run? And truth be told, like we got to measure them against themselves last year. Is this version of themselves gonna get them back to the finals? And then we got to measure themselves against like probably the Oklahoma City Thunder, who you know is the team that is probably the team in the West to beat. I think the AD move shores up a lot of all of that stuff for them. But to me, it's really going to come down to you know Kyrie continuing to get AD in his spots. That's going to be an important thing. Like Kyrie is a good passer. He's not a 10 assists per game passer. He's not going to be what Luka or LeBron was for AD. So it's going to be interesting. I hope they figure that out quickly. But in my opinion, I think this kind of if they stay healthy, and it all depends on how Derek Lively comes back. He's a big key. If he don't come back right, I don't think it matters. But if he comes back right, and them being able to have the depth to be able to deal with the Thunder, I think they're gonna make a. I think they'll make a good run. I think they make a good run, and I think they could go to the Western Conference Finals minimum. Finals, I'm not sure yet, but Western Conference Finals for sure. I can see
What do
that. I can see
y'all
that.
what do y'all think about the age factor though? Because like AD 32, what's Kyrie like? He's around the
Yeah,
same,
about
right?
33
Or
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, 33.
that was my thing. I'm like, damn. And he playing in the West still.
Yeah,
The West be feeling like anybody's game sometimes. Like one day it's the Nuggets, then it's the Thunder, then it could be Dallas. It's
yeah.
like,
I think that's what I respected the most about like the Lakers doing this trade, right? Because they didn't send AD to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like they didn't send AD to Washington. They didn't send AD to places where you go, damn, like he gave you some good basketball. You can at least try to set him up for like a winning situation. So I
yeah,
organizations do that because like when these players pick teams or these players move teams, like we're so hard on the players, we're so hard on player empowerment. But when teams just do shitty stuff like just like I think what the Lakers did to AD was like shitty in the fact that nobody knew about this, but at the same time, they sent them to a situation where you go, all right, probably a little better situation than the Lakers, if I'm being honest.
mm-hmm.
So salute to him. He wanted to play with a center. He kept, pushing that. Like the fit at center for him isn't what he wanted. So I'm happy for that. But man, I think I think the Lakers win this trade. I think it's probably an A minus Lakers, maybe B for the Mavericks, I think. But you get Luka, you get the rest of you get the next 10, 15 years, right? I don't
Yeah,
give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about none of those other issues that they worried about. Conditioning, games played, because at the end of the day, I had to worry about those things with AD, right? And although the last
that's
two
true.
seasons AD has been showing up, he hasn't been but the 3, 4 seasons prior to that, it's like all right, come on, AD. 50 games, 40 games. So it's like, from that regard, I don't understand the pushback from some Lakers fans that may have said, oh, Luka's conditioning. It's like, all right, we dealt with that with AD. But the upside for Luka, is higher, respectfully. We're not going to get the defense that we got from AD, but offensively, boy,
Yeah, it's hard to pass that up.
like you can't. And I understand people comparing it to like Russ was ball dominant. Russ couldn't shoot the ball like Luka could shoot the ball, bro. And LeBron played with Kyrie, bro. Like when guys are that talented and that good, you figure that out. I don't think I think figuring out Luka is much easier than figuring out Russell Westbrook. Much easier, bro. Much easier. So it's gonna be fun to see where that goes. But I'm also excited for another potential trade. Want to get y'all thoughts on it. We saw that De'Aaron Fox. It's a lot of reports that he's gonna get traded, with his preferred destination being the San Antonio Spurs to pair up with Victor Wembanyama. So going back to you, if we see that trade, what does that mean for the Spurs? What does that mean for the West? And of course, we want Greg Popovich to get healthy, but what does that look like if Greg Popovich can come back specifically and coach that team?
The Spurs gonna lose some pieces.
Yeah, oh for sure.
They're gonna
I
lose
love.
Niggas gutting that franchise. You shit me?
Uh, I,
Thank you.
I think the Aaron Fox helps, but they still gonna need more additions to the team before they even really a contender. Because I don't know, De'Aaron Fox not even a needle mover in the words of Roman Reigns.
You
He,
don't think so?
Now I think he's an elite superstar though. I think he's a really good superstar, but I don't think he's like a Wembanyama. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
you know what I'm saying? Wembanyama is a needle. You know what I'm saying? Lamelo's a those young players are type different. Anthony,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They bring a different type of spark to the game. And for some reason, I don't know. De'Aaron Fox has never had that spark, no matter how well he played, where it felt like, yeah, he the one. It just felt
But he
like, yeah,
gonna be the number two now, though. How you feel? He would be the number two over there now. How do you feel about him specifically in that role? I think on the Kings, right? You would say he was their best player. But if he go to the Spurs, he's easily their second
number
best
two.
player. He's not their best player. And maybe in a role like that, maybe
I think
he's
he sounds best in that role, and hopefully he can find a way to continue his great uptrotting and assists because he's been passing better and better each year. So hopefully he'll crack 10 assists once he gets to the Spurs, if that's a trade that goes through. But I think that makes the Spurs a little bit better, but not really nothing too special. They're gonna need like one or two more pieces.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree with that. How you feeling about that potential trade, Jay? How you feel about potentially De'Aaron Fox in San Antonio?
I think it's gonna be a little tough. I'm kind of in the same realm of where O is, just because I think about like you make that trade, it's like okay, what do you give up, right? Like, and oftentimes the lead player like that, you're pretty much trading away like your fourth, fifth, sixth options. The Devin
Yeah,
Vassell, the Keldon Johnsons, possibly the Sohans. Like you're gonna have to give those guys, or possibly Chris Paul as just bait value. So it's like if you have to give all that up, what does the team look like with just Fox and Wembanyama? I think it's good. You could definitely build around that, but it's just like what they have already is working. Well, I mean, it's getting there. I shouldn't say it's working. It's getting there, but it's like, damn, the pieces that you would have to give away. Now you got the elite superstar. He's your two guy. You got Wembanyama as the one option. I don't know. But like I said, the same thing with like the Luka trade, right? Like you kind of have to just take that bet and just see what happens, right? Like
yeah,
you can't pass. It's hard to pass up a player like De'Aaron Fox, right? Especially
yeah.
if he's already on the market. And then let's say what if he was to go to another West team? Now the Spurs are asked out because they had the chance to get that player, didn't get him. Now he's in the contending team. So I think I would like the trade. I just worry about the structure of the team going forward after that.
Yeah. I think with any trade, I do think that's the concern. But like I said, I think you trade, you figure that shit out later, right?
Hmm.
Because I don't think San Antonio was ever in a win now this year, next year type of situation, right?
Hmm.
So I don't think you can look at it like, oh, what their roster will look like this year after the trade. Because I don't think they care, right? Like I
Yeah.
think you get that piece, you got Wimby, and now you can start attracting these 3 and D free agents that you can probably get for 10 million or 15
Hmm.
million mid-level exceptions. They're going to want to go play for that team. And I think, you know, places like San Antonio and also like Dallas and those teams, right? They got that advantage of that, you don't pay state income taxes over here. So I think when you bring together Wimby, who's probably after this season and moving forward, probably going to be the best player in the league, if we be honest. Especially if they start competing for quality playoff spots, right? If they,
Especially if you keep cooking Giannis like this.
yeah, 100%, bro.
Yo,
Like, and that's why I think you give him another star that could really hold his own and still go get that. The Chris Paul thing is cool, but Chris Paul not giving you 20 plus points in this stage of his career, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
man,
he's probably not giving you 35 quality minutes. So
my
Chris
God.
Paul moving on from that, yeah, that's simple. But I think you do that if you're De'Aaron Fox. I think you do that if you're the Spurs because you got to compete, moving forward. And I think lastly, before we move on to, the Royal Rumble, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler.
Moving on.
Last wanted to touch on this NBA topic because prior to the Luka trade, this was like the trade in the market that everybody was waiting to hear about. Everybody was waiting to see what happened. He getting suspended, posting memes and gifs online saying he unemployed and stuff. All of this stuff going on with the Heat organization. Jimmy Butler, his goal is to end up in Phoenix. Obviously, Bradley Beal got the no trade clause. Do you guys think, starting with you, Jay, this time, do you think Jimmy Butler to Phoenix moves the needle for Phoenix at all, even if they're able to keep Kevin Durant and Devin Booker? And if it does, what do their ceiling look like to you? Second round, Western Conference Finals, first round, like what does Phoenix ceiling look like to you with Jimmy Butler and that potential trade?
I really don't see it changing much, honestly. I mean, it's just where Jimmy Butler is at. And, basketball is also a mental game. So if that's your mental with the team now, like,
Yeah,
it's hard to revert back to just your normal self, even if you do get traded, right? Like, now you're supposed to be Jimmy Butler and, like, okay, go out and cook. It's like, I don't know if it really works like that. And then it's just like how he's been playing, how Bradley Beal's been playing. Like, you trade in one guy for another. At the most, what, you're just going to add on maybe 4 extra wins? I don't know. It just
what does it do for you?
it's tough. It's tough. But like I keep saying, it's the West. Anything happens. Like Houston's the 2 seed right now, right? Like that, we didn't see that coming. But it just, I don't know. I could see them. Potentially getting somewhere to the Western Conference Finals. But even with Jimmy Butler, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see that as a major improvement for anything. Like you trade in one guy for another guy. You get maybe slightly more defense out of Jimmy Butler. Like Bradley Beal's, he just a shade of himself. But yeah, and then it's like, who else do you move for that? Like what? Like you just get Jimmy Butler and that's it. Like that's just the team.
As that trade is going to be probably one of the most complicated trades we ever seen in NBA
I know who
history.
should trade
Yeah.
for Jimmy Butler.
Say that again. Oh,
I know who should trade for Jimmy Butler. It
who
might,
that?
it might be world it happen. The Houston Rockets.
Oh,
Who do you
damn.
give up?
Fred VanVleet, get him the fuck out of here.
Mm.
Let Jalen Green run the point for now on. James Harden.
You think Miami want that trade?
Yeah, they need a point guard. Terry Rozier.
Nah, he played. He gonna be fine. Don't we not doing that? I read into that story. He was cleared a while ago. He gonna be fine. He played last night. He gonna be fine.
He was fixing games.
No, but
Yeah.
I think that'd be the best trade for both teams though, because Fred VanVleet is an upgrade from the current point guard position, and because Terry's good, but he don't, he not him. Fred VanVleet is more of a closer version of him than Scary Terry.
Yeah. That's gonna be tough. I don't see Miami pulling a clip on the trade like that, but we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. Basketball is in a fun spot. That's why even on the day after the Royal Rumble, we had to start the Paint to the Pit podcast talking about the NBA. When you get something as earth shattering as Luka Doncic for AD, I don't care what else happened in sports yesterday. We was going to start the Paint to the Pit talking about this. But we'll be right back for Royal Rumble recap, which I thought we was going to start this show off with, but we didn't. But we'll be right back with some Royal Rumble recap.
Sir is here.
Royal Rumble, we are back. Paint to the Pit, episode 13. We going yeet, that Yeetsomania. So yesterday was the 2025 Royal Rumble, and the main event, of course, was the men's Royal Rumble, which saw Yeet himself, main event, Jey Uso, eliminate John Cena to win the 2025 men's Royal Rumble.
I told y'all that was gonna happen.
we gotta check the files. We gotta check the Paint to the Pit files.
Who knew?
We gonna see. We gonna see who knew. But
who was right.
Jey Uso, just to highlight some amazing spots from that match. We saw CM Punk eliminate both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, which is an amazing amazing kind of thing to see that story continue to develop. Obviously, we saw Braun Strowman eliminate Jacob Fatu, which was interesting on my end, obviously, for my predictions. And then for the final four to be John Cena, who was it? Jey Uso, Logan Paul,
Ugh,
and who was the last one?
I think it was
It was somebody, but yeah, it was an interesting final four. Sorry, huh?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. AJ
AJ
Styles. So a
Styles.
final four that I don't have to check the files for because I know none of us had that as our final four. But starting with you, Jay. Talk to me about how you feel since you know your namesake won the Royal Rumble. Starting with you, Jay. Tell me about how you feeling about specifically starting with that men's Royal Rumble match, the winner, and potential plans moving forward with that particular win.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I love it, but I was also a little surprised. But I think that's what they intended it to be. Not gonna lie, like just looking at how they placed the entrance, where Jey Uso came out and what spot, where John Cena came out, like how everybody showed up. It really made me feel like we were saying, right? We was like, yo, they might just decide this right then and there based off like how the crowd reacts or whatever,
Yeah.
or what's going on. But yeah, like I like it. I just really was surprised just because it felt like they kept having Jey Uso get to that point and then dropping, get to that point and it's like he always lost. But that seems to be what the actual storyline is now. It's like, all right, this guy spent all his time. He keeps fighting for belts. He loses. He holds the title for maybe 20 days. It's like, all right, it's not
Thank
really
you,
for
Kevin
me.
Durant.
You're right. And
Thank
now he's
KD.
got a guaranteed title shot, which I mean, I wonder about what that's gonna lead to because he did kind of make the claim that he was going for the world title, which is like not really traditional for the Rumble winner. Usually they go straight to the WWE title and then Elimination Chamber meets the whole 9 yards.
But he did say he wasn't sure in the post. Like he said it like right after when he did the after right outside of the ring when he did that interview. But when he did the post show, he said he wanted to be Gunther, but now that he got both options on the table, he's like, damn,
Yeah,
should I go? He said, should I yeet over this way or should I yeet over this way? And he had me in tears. So just kind of even to put the Cody one back on the table because he did put it back on the table in the post. Would you like to see him fight Gunther or would you like to see him fight Mr.
um,
Rhodes?
the Cody Rhodes story, I'm only like in the middle about because I just it like for the story wise, I struggle with that a little bit. I feel like the Gunther storyline is a little bit easier because we kind of seen it already, right? Like we seen him run the promo. He was like, you're just a tag team guy, and then he fired back like, yo, like, but I've been showing up every week and fighting back, and now look, he's got a Royal Rumble chance. I mean, Royal Rumble winner, and
Yeah,
seeing him now, it's like that storyline with Gunther seems to make more sense, right? Because, like I say, keep losing, keep getting to the top, loses, gets to the top, loses. Now we could see him versus that wouldn't be a bad victory, like that would I think him over Gunther would cement him as like okay now he's our top guy. Versus with the Cody, it's like I don't know, it's just the way they tell Cody right now too. He just seems like he can't be knocked off of his cliff. There's nothing that can stop him right now. But I also think that's because they want to do more stuff with Cody character as a whole. So having him just lose probably wouldn't really make sense in this situation, I think. And it's like look at Gunther too. Like Gunther hasn't really defended the title. He's kind of just been quiet there. So that seems to let me know that maybe they just want to switch it right there, give Jey Uso his WrestleMania moment, and he's got the world title. The crowd is we already know what that crowd's gonna look like, man.
yeah.
Like that's gonna be crazy. They just have to build it right though. They just have to build that correctly.
Nah, for sure, for sure. How you feeling about that? Or how you feeling about same questions? Or how you feeling about Jey Uso winning the Rumble? What do the storylines? How would you book it moving forward? Like, tell me your thoughts on that match, that win, and what you see going forward.
I kind of got the same sentiment as a lot of WWE fans, which is kind of like we basically even what they call Saturday Night Main Event a glorified house show. We just basically got that match between Gunther and Jey Uso. So it's kind of like he lost and then he gets another shot the same week, in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, so it's kind of okay, I guess. He's obviously going to have to fight Gunther because that's the only thing that honestly makes sense for him. Him fighting Cody for the belt, honestly, I don't see him winning
Yeah.
because it just doesn't make sense. Now, if they somehow
Yeah.
to make sense for them, as they just roll him winning the Royal Rumble to make sense for them, it doesn't make sense to me that he even won the Royal Rumble, even though it gives,
Yeah.
even though it's like a throw off. Oh, we shocked you guys. It's really kind of like, for what? What are we gaining by getting main event Jey Uso versus Gunther again?
Mm.
Like, we just seen it. We literally just seen it. So they could have built that up a different way to me. I think a person like CM Punk or even John Cena was more deserving of, not even to say deserving, because that's the wrong words completely, because I think Jey Uso is the most deserving person on the roster for the winning of the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble. But
I agree.
more so to see, more so of like what I think people felt and wanted to see was more so of a vintage winner
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
men's Royal Rumble. And I think they got the women's Royal Rumble wrong. Not the jumper. I think that with the men's Royal Rumble, they're supposed to go vintage, where with the women's Royal Rumble, they should have picked somebody unconventional.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
But as far as the booking with Jey Uso, I think it's pretty simple. He should go after Gunther and things of that nature. I think he continues to piggyback off of the I can beat him thing. He lost, he can beat him. He feels he can beat him, blah, blah. He goes from there to somehow conquer Gunther at WrestleMania. If he loses at WrestleMania, I'm done. I'm done with WWE. Y'all just wasting our time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw
And I
away the
think that's
Hogan.
just interesting, right? I think,
I swear
for
I will watch AEW for the rest of the year
that's funny.
if Jey Uso loses at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, right? Like I think, Jey Uso winning the Rumble, I didn't see. I'm not surprised by it, but I didn't see it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, and I don't know, man. In terms of booking in that match, like I said during one of our last pods, for like a lot of the favorites, I could see why they wasn't going to win it. They've been advertising John Cena for the Elimination Chamber well before the Rumble, so
Mm-hmm.
that let me know he wasn't winning it. That was like those little nuggets, like when you've been wrestling
Yeah.
fans like us for so long, you kind of you look for. You're like, all right, they advertise him heavy for this Toronto Elimination Chamber. You don't win the Rumble and then go have to fight in the Chamber. How
Mm-hmm.
often does that happen? So I kind of knew that. I felt like they wasn't finished with this whole Seth CM Punk kind of feud. So that's why I didn't see either of them winning. So then it was like, will it be Roman again? And I didn't think it was Roman's time to get that again. So, but I still thought it was Jacob Fatu, but they went with Jey Uso. I think it's dope. I wouldn't have him fight Gunther. That's just, I think now you're just kind of wasting our time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, what would a feud with Cody? I felt like That's what I wanted to say. I felt like there was way more uncertainty with what a feud with Cody Rhodes would have looked like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think from that regard, I would have been more interested in just to see it play out. Because in my mind, I'd have been like, how they gonna make this work? Like, what they gonna do? I think the Gunther one is kind of like straightforward, and maybe that's probably why they went with the decision, right? Like, put that on Jay, go against Gunther, because like we want the world to kind of be kind of in question about what's going to happen with Cody Rhodes next, especially after he just beat Kevin Owens. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm happy for Jey Uso. I think it's another
Ooh.
step in that Samoan tradition in terms of these guys being faces of the company. So
Jey
shout out
Uso.
to Jey
I have a
Uso.
thought. I have a thought really quickly.
Sure.
Just before we kind of transition to everything else, but like just regarding Jey Uso winning, right? Like you think that maybe like because we said how we feel about the Gunther thing, right? Like it seems like just the traditional WWE style route, like the Daniel Bryan type of thing, like the Yes movement. It just is the babyface guy. You go after the villain, you win, and everybody cheers
Yeah.
you, and you have your WrestleMania moment. But what if the whole plot has been for Jay to go after the V title and then possibly see like the Cody turn, right? Because if you look at the match with Kevin Owens that he had last night, beat the shit out of this guy, right? And that's kind of like a little bit different for Cody because again, he's supposed to be the baby face. He just beats guys naturally in the ring, and it's just 1, 2, 3 and done. This fight, like, you see by the cinematics when he Alabama slammed him through the ladder, and then like usually we see Cody just celebrating in the ring. He got out, he went above the table, he was standing over Kevin Owens, and they had the shot showing like his bloody face, and then just Cody standing over him. So I'm like, it seems like we're starting to see a turn, and then you go back to the CM Punk promo, right? He was like, "Yo, like, you got to understand, like, when you're at this point, like, a lot of people ain't gonna really be your friend anymore, and they're gonna be looking at what's around your waist," which could be true in this sense, right? Because Jey Uso, he's on his high, right? He's at the top of the mountain now. I won the Royal Rumble. I could challenge whoever I want. He probably gonna start looking at Cody a different way. Cody's gonna be like, oh, shoot, CM Punk was right. I don't really have no friends in it because him and Jay are supposed to be boys, right? Like they won tag team titles together. Like they competed in a lot of matches, doing the whole bloodline shit. Like so now we could probably see him be like, yo, Jey Uso coming for my title. Like, damn, CM Punk was right, and that could be the start of his turn. Then maybe you have Jay win the belt, and then you get your Cody and everything after that. But
Yeah.
that, it's tough because you know that at the end of the day, when it comes to this road to WrestleMania, it's always going to be what's the biggest moment we can make. They don't care about the months after. Like we've seen that with like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Win the tag titles, that's the moment, right? But then they just drop it 3 months later. So it could be that, but I don't know. That's gonna be interesting.
I agree. I think it is interesting, and that's kind of why I was mentioning like they have so many different ways. Like you can speculate more with the Cody Rhodes Jey
Yeah,
Uso
yeah.
storyline than you can speculate with the Jey Uso Gunther storyline, and I kind of think that's what makes it fun, And moving transitioning on to the match that Jay brought up, we did see Cody Rhodes in a very physical match defeat and Owens. It was a ladder match that saw a lot of hard bumps, man. I was like, oh, okay, these guys really selling for each other and taking bumps for each other. That's all a telltale sign to me. Was like, all right, cool. These guys really like each other because you could tell everything that they sacrifice for each other and professionalism. I thought the match was dope. It was probably one of my more favorite matches in this Cody Rhodes championship run. But for me, that just highlights guys like Kevin Owens, guys like Drew McIntyre, guys like Sheamus, guys like Sami Zayn, who when they have to work with these champions, bro, they just do such a great job at making sure that they look good and they go about everything the right way. But how you feeling about that match? Oh?
I think it was a good match. I think it was really physical. I think it added layers to Cody Rhodes' character. I think it added layers to Kevin Owens' toughness and his baby face turn back.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Beat him into being good again.
Yeah.
Word. Word. He really
And then randomly, Sami Zayn showed up at the end of that match. I don't
Yeah.
know if that was foreshadowing, but let me
I,
know what you feel about that.
I think it was definitely foreshadowing before. The way I just chopped and screwed foreshadowing. I think it was
Nah,
definitely
it's okay,
foreshadowing
bro. It's Sunday morning.
for the fact that, remember, I don't get no sleep straight from work. But it was for real foreshadowing for the simple fact that later on Sami Zayn was in the ring during the Royal Rumble. He was in the ring with Seth Rollins, and he shrugged his shoulders and kind of gave him the boot. And that goes back into, I think it was last week or the week prior, where Seth Rollins was like, the next time you do that, make sure you mean it because it's on site if you do that again. If y'all remember.
Yeah, I remember the promo. Yep.
So now it's kind of like it's up for Sami Zayn. He's evil.
Yeah.
He's officially like fully evil Sammy.
He was
So we're gonna see where that goes. Yeah, that match was okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It wasn't too much of a great match for me. It was just okay. I think just to get out the way, DIY sucked also. You don't have to ask me about them guys.
Fuck that.
But
Bro said, yo, don't even waste my time asking me about that. Cause you ask me about that, I'm gonna look at you like you stupid. Don't ask me about no D. Don't ask me about no D out.
To take break stuff. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna go finish the food. I said, okay.
Yeah, like yeah, perfect time to do that. Nah, just to add to that before I pass it over to you, Jay. Like for someone, as you guys know, for better or for worse, sometimes joking, most of the time serious. As someone who's been like very very hard on
Good time.
Cody Rhodes and this run, like I did love the hell out of that promo with CM Punk from
Hmm.
the other, what was that, one of those Mondays or whatever. I love the hell out of that promo, and to be honest, I enjoyed the match. Like when I know what the outcome of a match going to be, just give me something from that match to make me
Hmm.
go, okay, great. And again, like with them, it was the physicality. Was it like the best match I've ever seen? Of course not. But the physicality of that ladder match let me know, all right, these two guys are trying to show that they're going to war. It was just like that Hell in a Cell with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Like
Yeah,
I had a feeling in my heart of hearts who was going to win that match, but to watch them actually be that physical for us,
yeah,
like that. So I appreciated that. Like, and again, it made Cody Rhodes like, you know, if if Cody Rhodes is getting to his ult, he at like 70% now. He ain't at like 100% where he ready to, you know. But shout out to Cody Rhodes. I do think it was great. It's exciting to see. It looks like we're going down the John Cena path with Cody Rhodes, but we'll see. Like they're advertising the Elimination Chamber hard, and then John Cena in the post show yesterday also says, you know what? For a long time, I was just the the business guy going about it the way that I go about it, but I deserve to win that 17th world title. I'm going for that 17th world title, and for him to say that makes me believe he's winning it, bro. It's
hmm,
no doubt in my mind that John Cena is going to win that belt. Now, of course, he's going to lose it right back because it's a retirement tour. But and I think for the WWE, with all due respect to Ric Flair, because he's on the Mount Rushmore, he's going to be on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore. Not personally on mine because I ain't watch enough of him, but he's on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. But for a WWE specific, record, John Cena deserved that. Even if he don't, have it for forever, he'll have it for a while. At least maybe the next decade, he'll hold that. And I think if John Cena deserves anything, it's that.
He'll Charlotte take it.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. But
18.
how how'd you feel about that match, Jay? And how'd you feel about the way it kind of made Cody look, the way it made Kevin look, and what it looks like moving forward for both? Because I know we're gonna talk about what it looks like moving forward for Cody because he's the champ. What it looks like moving forward for Kevin as well.
yeah. I'm just glad that it the match at least felt like it match the promos they've been having, because everything like so far has just kind of them been talking shit, talking each other. They come out, they cut a promo like it what and we see just beef. Like we see them every week. They
Well,
just it just keeps accelerating. And now we got the ladder match, right? And it's like, all right, now they're doing these physical spots. They're just beating the hell out of each other, like they're taking a bump. So that lets me know, like, okay, they're really trying to sell us this match and this storyline. And then obviously cut to the table where Kevin Owens gets cut open, and then going from
Yeah,
there to Alabama slam through the ladder. It's like he died.
I mean,
And then Cody, raising the belts over his head and just walking around the ring like, yo, like
yeah.
I'm him. That lets me know, like, okay, they starting to do something finally with his character. Because I mean, being honest, like Dwayne been saying, his run been kind of mid.
But then I do want to take this moment because I kind of grazed over it before, but I just want to get your thoughts on some of the guys that I mentioned because these guys are like bona fide. Like you have your superstars, and then you need somebody, you need the people on that other end to make kind of like the marriage work. And when you watch guys like Kevin Owens for
Hmm.
year after year after year, just make these guys look great with his promo work, with his selling ability, in ring
Yeah.
ability. I put Drew McIntyre on that list. I put Sami Zayn on that list. I put Sheamus on that list. And now I got to put Seth Rollins on that list, right? These guys that, even Jey Uso, right? Maybe over the last few years, probably been losing more than we may have liked to see them losing.
Hmm.
But they just make these guys look so much better. So just wanted to shout those guys out and wanted to know if y'all have any thoughts on particularly that and how those guys make our champions look good.
I think they do an amazing job.
For sure, right? They do their work, but I just don't think it's something that like casual
Like,
wrestling fans may really understand what it's like to be that person on
Appreciate
the
that.
other side, like to really appreciate that, bro. Because in most sports, we just appreciate the winner. We just appreciate who's
The
holding
guy
the
was
belt.
holding the
So
belt.
just want to give those guys a shout out, and since I'm not gonna ask bro anything DIY. Only thing I would say about that match is it was dope to see the Street Profits come back.
I got
Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
so for the last few episodes of the pod, y'all both agreed that Cody's title run has been mid. So aside from Liv Morgan, because I feel like over the last year she had the best title run. Who else title run wasn't mid? I feel like everybody title run been mid. I'm sorry, including Gunther. I feel like everybody. The new women's titles, the two new women's titles, Intercontinental, U.S. title
Um,
mid, regular Intercontinental title mid. Braun Breaker, I'm sorry, you mid too. Your run been mid. Who
U.S.
had,
time?
who had the U.S. title before Shinsuke?
was it LA Knight?
LA Knight.
LA Knight title run mid. Logan Paul title run mid. Yeah, that's just how I
I
feel.
think I don't personally, for me to answer that question, I use the WWE storyline. That title should always be the cream of the crop. I don't hold any other belt to that standard personally. I don't hold any other belt to the standard of this storyline needs to be top tier because this is the person that you're positioning at the top of the mountain. But when I do look at those other runs, I think right everything is sort of like figuring out positioning, right? Because you have the Raw on Netflix, you have like a lot of these new moves where these new shows are coming about. Obviously, you have the TNA kind of collab. So I just think it's kind of figuring it out. But to answer your question directly, I would have to agree. I don't know whose title run. I don't know whose title run has been long, and then it's duration, right? I think for me, before I really judge a title run, gotta at least give it like half a year. With the way kind of title runs go for me, I gotta give it 6 months to say, all right, I gotta at least see two feuds, at least two. Give me two storylines because
Oh
the
yeah,
first one, go ahead.
Tiffany's trending towards mid. Sorry, I almost forgot to mention her.
Yeah, but if Tiffany gets the match that you said she should get, which we could transition to with Charlotte Flair, the GOAT, greatest woman of all time,
Whoa.
winning the Royal Rumble. If Tiffany Stratton is able to get that match,
No,
I think that's a match where you look at. But at the same time, though, I think that women's belt that Rhea and Liv had, I don't think that belt those storylines have been mid for a while. So shout out to them for finding a way to uplift that belt. I think Nia Jax with her run, I wouldn't call that mid. I think
like
it was a I
That
think
hasn't been
Snacks,
bad.
yeah.
Snacks was
Not gonna
mid.
lie. That's
Snacks
been
was a
decent.
mid.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I just
don't
mentioned Snacks.
Now you've been
yeah,
carrying
yeah.
I didn't
it.
mention
Yeah.
she's lit.
Nah, her shit was definitely fire.
She's lit.
I think I think if WWE gives us what they teased us with Penta and Braun Breaker, bro, out the park. That's
They,
Mm.
that's
they
that
also teased Penta and Dom, so I'm like kind of confused.
yeah, that's I think that's just for the heritage, respectfully, and I don't mean to brush it off like heritage and stuff don't matter, like those type of matches don't matter. But I think, positioning Penta right for that IC, if him and Braun Breaker could go for a great run. I don't remember who eliminated Penta last night, and that keeps bothering me.
Yeah, I don't remember that
But
either.
I think that
Jacob,
huh? Jacob Fatu?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
could. I
remember that. Damn.
yeah, yeah. But it's funny because I can see that. But yeah, I think I think if Braun Breaker gets this next run with like a Penta, I think we'll start changing our thoughts about that. I don't know who it is for Shinsuke, and every other belt I agree with you on. Long story short, though,
Mm-hmm.
every other belt except for the women's belts, every other belt I completely agree on. Mid, but I got to give him 6 months.
yeah, I think I, yeah, the women's belts have been fire. They the best two belts.
Yeah, yeah,
They the best belts. I ain't gonna lie, they've been.
yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be tough without having Bianca. Shoot, the women's world championship been okay too, because I can't wait for Jade to come back. But I heard not to jump around, but I heard she got a serious injury. But we're gonna see if it gets announced or not.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I think when you got like the 10 or 15 biggest stars in your company, and 12 of them, or maybe 11 of them, are hovering around Cody Rhodes' belt, I don't think that's a good look either, right? You don't have anybody from that Royal Rumble who was doing promos who remotely even mentioned Gunther. From Seth to Drew to Sammy to Punk. And I think that's a part of it too, right? What you have the orbit of your elite stars, like what are they going for? Like obviously we really don't want to see Seth Rollins going for IC title runs at this point in his career. But if a CM Punk would have act like, all right, I actually will consider Gunther, or if maybe a Drew McIntyre would have said, I will consider Gunther. I think those are the things that start elevating belts, and I think you got to
Yeah.
start putting people in
Hmm.
people in those
Right.
positions. Everything is revolving around Cody, which still, in a short distance, is still revolving around Roman. So it's 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 still intriguing to me how many storylines still bring Roman up, but
Mhm.
I think it's interesting. Like if they could start positioning maybe Jacob Fatu, maybe he don't go straight for the Money in the Bank. Maybe he goes for one of those mid-level belts first, right, and start getting those guys in that mix. Maybe that's how you reposition Solo Sikoa, right? But certain people gotta start moving away from everything is about WWE Championship, because we can't have 10 people pushing for one belt, and that's what their storylines are consistent of. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
just gonna be interesting.
They gonna shock the world when John Cena win his 17th championship and Solo take that shit.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah. Solo.
this how it's going to be interesting. But I would like to give that women's Royal Rumble its proper respect and topic time. So Charlotte Flair did win the women's Royal Rumble. Going to start it off with you, Jay. I think this was like, compared to the men's Royal Rumble, this was kind of like an easier pick. It was dope to see Alexa Bliss return.
Hmm.
Nikki Bella at 30 was okay. All right, cool. But how do you feel about the match overall? How do you feel about Charlotte winning? And I know we spoke about it before, but now that we on the other side of her winning, who would you have her face at Mania?
Yeah. I'm not bothered by the fact that she won. I
Yeah.
like it, but it just makes me feel like, based on how it went, like like this is just purely for a WrestleMania moment. So I just don't know how the storylines might look. Like if she fights Tiffany Stratton, I think that's a good match. Fighting Rhea Ripley would be weird, but it's also like I don't know what you do with Rhea Ripley now either, because it kind of seems like the Liv Morgan stuff is they're moving away from that. So I don't know. It's gonna be hard to book. I feel like when it finally is all said and done, I don't know if people will be as hyped as they are now, because it's like, all right, she's back, she won, but when we actually get to that point, what does that match look like? Who does she fight? What does the after effect looks like? Because like Triple H says that all the time, right? The story never ends. You always have to figure out the
Yeah,
book after, and like, but it seems like that's kind of like W's. What would you call that? Like they always have to deal with that idea, right? It's like everything alludes to the road to WrestleMania, which sets up like the WrestleMania moment, and then those WrestleMania moments only last like 2 months. Like we seen Bailey win the Royal Rumble, went to WrestleMania, drops the title by SummerSlam. Like we see stuff like that. I kind of feel like that hurts them a little bit, but you also understand the need for why they do that, because everything at the end of the day is for the fans, right? Like you're going based off the fan reaction. You're going based off of who's over, or who does the most work with the crowd. Obviously, the people like Jey Uso, the people like Charlotte, like these are the people that the crowd just loves, and you can't say no
yeah,
to the crowd, right? Like you can never do that. Whether they is somebody that hasn't been seen in 3 years or 2 months, like you just, if the crowd wants it, that's what's gonna happen. So I really like the match overall. I think everybody had great spots. The Nikki Bella shit was crazy. I don't think they should have ever did anything with that.
30.
That was just a letdown. No disrespect to her, but it just
Bro.
like
Uh,
the crowd
like,
pop was like, what?
Yeah,
don't get it.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not legit? Like I get that Charlotte probably wanted to get in the ring and make sure that she was real right in front of the people, but nah, she should have just came out 30.
100%. 100%.
and just shut
If
it
y'all
down.
wasn't gonna bring back
30
Becky
or 1,
Lynch,
and nothing in between.
if y'all wasn't
30
gonna
or 1.
Becky Lynch at 30? Because that's all I was waiting for. Becky Lynch.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
They didn't even like put her in the mix, and she kind of been getting advertised a little bit. So
I
I
could
was
have
kind of
put
surprised. Like,
at 30.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie,
Nah, that's
Bella
real.
Twins was lit at a time of dead company. Nobody cares about them. Stop that. Stop bringing back Daniel Bryan Shorty and John Cena Shorty.
Yeah,
Don't
that's a fact.
care.
yeah, I don't even think the crowd was just so confused. They were like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I'm so tired of the Bella Twins coming back randomly and getting the same nothing.
Yo, Trish Stratus too. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Trish Stratus. I love Trish Stratus, but I was like, damn, she just pop up every Rumble now, just fighting.
It's pissed off with the Bella Twins, man.
Yo, that's funny, man.
The Bella Twins stop, bro.
I hang it up.
I knew since the show they was a
Yo, that's crazy, dog. What? Come on, son. Nobody trying to hear that mid-ass theme music hit.
yo.
The theme music don't even get you high. Shout out to the
Facts,
Belchins.
facts.
Get
Just what I thought.
out
No
here,
pop.
a quiet guy. You cover.
Yeah. And then they come out into the twirl.
Yeah,
You like
Yeah.
nobody?
ain't no way. Gotta be a new superstar. Ain't no way that's a Bella Twin.
I ain't know the Bella had triplets. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I know it got to be another Bella twin here,
They're like,
but
no. Yeah.
but yeah, how you feeling about the win? Oh, I know you were saying you want her to face Tiffany Stratton, but how you feeling about the Charlotte Flair victory and who you got to face? I know we spoke about it before, but just to stamp your prediction, who you got to face in that Mania?
Now that we hear my favorite woman wrestler of all time has finally made her return, she's back on top. Now, I mean, I think it's time for the cook, Rhea Ripley,
Ooh.
belt that looks like her father's belt. I think she needs to handle that because was it last year or the year before that? It was the year before that
Yeah,
she gotta run that back. We don't forget L's. We don't forget L's, especially at big pay-per-views.
100%.
If you know who Charlotte
100.
is, if you're a fan of Charlotte, you know we don't forget L's, especially at big pay-per-views. So we're gonna run that back and we're gonna get Dad belt, bring it home, show Dad, yo, Dad, I got the female version of your Joan.
Nah, man. Now, all right, but now I got a real interesting booking question for y'all, right? Because the winner of the men's rumble is supposed to go on the main event WrestleMania, right? The winner of the women's rumble is supposed to go on and main event WrestleMania, right? But then if you convincing me that Jey Uso should go after Gunther,
They won.
what world is a Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania for the belt, not the main event? And I understand you can convince me that it'll be an opening match from a booking perspective. Like I know we saw that with the Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar did that, I think, once or twice at Mania opening. But do you really have Cody Rhodes? And if it's a John Cena match, do you like who's not main event in WrestleMania? You can only there's 2 nights. You only have a final match on 2 nights. So if you convincing me that Jey Uso, who won the Royal Rumble, and they always advertise the Royal Rumble as the winner go on the main event WrestleMania, and if you're telling me Charlotte Flair is going to fight Rhea Ripley, which I would argue is probably the biggest money match that they have in the women's division, and definitely deserving of a main event spot. How would you book that? Who gets the final match? If who gets the final 2 matches?
That's tough.
I think Cody's so lit that he could enter the first match. He already main evented, so he could do first match the second night and really kick off the show.
But he ain't main event as champion though. That's different.
Yeah,
Bro,
true.
I know.
Mm,
To us, it don't matter. To them, that shit matters, bro. Like
yeah.
when you hear them talking they documentaries and when you hear them talking these interviews, like the way they get positioned at Mania matters, especially when you're already at the mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, but unless he facing CM Punk somehow this year, he's not main eventing. And I don't think CM Punk is going to be main eventing this year. I think they're going to do one more year to hold off for CM Punk for some reason. I think CM Punk going to do one more year. I think that's a part of the contract. Yeah, to come through, do two
Yeah,
sides,
yeah.
one
He
more.
said we want to make sure you, but like, and again, I know everything shouldn't be compare and contrast, especially in sports. But can we have imagined a world where Roman Reigns was holding that belt and he wasn't the final match at WrestleMania. To me, and again, this is not Cody. This is not a Cody hate segment because I'm not trying to turn it into that. But just from like an optical perspective, it's like him not main eventing as the champion. Like to get that WrestleMania entrance as the champion is different than getting that WrestleMania entrance as the challenger.
As a challenge.
Only thing I could say is it's like the difference in like different type of characters. Like Roman character is more so built upon he is the event. With Cody, his character is more so built on he's a part of the event. If you get what I'm saying, like
All right, so he mad. I got you.
not man, but he more so for the people by the people. Like he do real. You know, he's not selfish in a sense. He's always giving. That's his.
This ain't the O I know. This ain't the if that was somebody O ain't like O would have said mid. O just gave us the definition of mid and did not call that man mid. This ain't the O I know, but it's okay. Bro work last night. You know, he probably a little tired, feeling a little emotional for Cody. That's bro just gave the definition of mid and was like, no, I'm not saying mid. I'm just saying, you know, he's part of the team. You know, he's not marquee, you know, but he comes, you know, Cody's for the people. You know, he ain't got no compliment for somebody. You say they for the people. They for the people. Come on, man. He love the kids. That's like when people was trying to give D-Lo the compliments. They be like, yo, he try hard, bro. He try. He put in the effort, bro. If that's all you can give me, get that man out of here. Bro.
Yeah, I think he's the main event though.
But
I don't know if him being the main event this shit. He done got this shit 2 years in a row. Like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah. And yeah. I understand. I feel you on that. I definitely understand that point. Just playing devil's advocate here. How you feeling about that? How you feeling about that particular question, Jay? Like, how would you book that? How would you book those 3 matches?
It's tough because it's either you when it comes to the champions, just because you have dual champions, it's either you open the show or you close the show. I don't think there's any in between. I just it just seemed like everything they've done up to this point and how they've touted Cody and how they tried to make him after Roman Reigns' title reign, because Roman Reigns was practically rejected as a god. Like you said, he is the event. Putting him in the main event is not even a thought. But when it comes to Cody, it's like, how do you fill the shoes of that previous champion, right? That's a hard thing to do.
But
I don't even think he should try that.
But also,
leave that alone.
There's been a few times that Roman, not at WrestleMania, but Roman opened up shows as champion.
Yeah. And that's what I'm just saying. I'm just thinking Mania. And then even to throw another monkey wrench in there for you, Jay, while you finish your answer, like, what if it is the push for Roman versus Rock and we randomly get that back? Like, all right, cool. You can convince me. Maybe that can open the show, but again, The Rock has that TKO power, bro. And is The Rock an opener or is The Rock a closer? Like even last year, that tag team match was the main event of night one. When many could have argued, if, you know, because of the star power in it, you respect it. So, like, even taking that match aside, because that match could open, but focusing back on the other 3, how would you book those?
Yeah, I think you just need to give Cody that one chance to main event. I think they just need to see what that looks like. That's probably what that is. It's just hard for me to see him being the one that opens a show. It's like, if we're touting the WWE title as the premier belt, like this is the household, this is legacy, everything, like I don't think you can do that any other way than being the night 2 main event, the final closing of that, of this pay-per-view, PLE as they want to call it now. But it just, that's where it leaves me with that. It's like, I think you have to just to see, not even just like, oh, like Cody deserves it or this and that. I think it's just out of necessity. That's just gonna help their analytics, which is, like I said, that's all they look for. You need to know what the fans think. You need to know how they react. You need to know how they feel. What's their emotions towards it. And then as for the women, I think they're gonna probably put a women's match as night 1 main event.
So then the the Royal Rumble men's winner is not main event in WrestleMania, and that's why to me it's gonna be tough for me to believe they going with Gunther because like with all due respect, and you know I'm a big Gunther fan, love Jey Uso, but do we want our last image of a WrestleMania weekend to be a Gunther versus Jey Uso match? Respectfully, and I'm just throwing the question out there. I'm not picking the side, and I know it sounds like my answer may be no, but that's a legit question. Like, do we want our last image of WrestleMania to be Gunther versus Jey Uso?
Yeah.
But see, that's why it goes back to not to cut you off real quick. But think about the WrestleMania moments, like we've been saying. Like everything WWE kind of does is for the moments, right? So my thing, the crowd, they're gonna want that crowd dancing. Yeah, they're gonna. I think it could be a possibility. I think they're gonna want the crowd doing the yeet dance, and Jay probably gonna jump in the crowd and do it with them. Like that's probably what they like the Eddie Guerrero thing.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar. Eddie Guerrero's going wild in the crowd. That might
confetti in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their most over character right now. The crowd work is out of this world.
Once Jey Uso won the belts, right?
Yeah, that's
the show show over.
That's gonna be a fun build up. Looking forward to it too. Looking forward to see tomorrow's gonna be super fun, right? Just to kind of see because you know the Raw after the Rumble, kind of like you start seeing where storylines are gonna be going towards next. So I think that's important. But it was a great Rumble. I don't know if Jay, you got anything you wanted to say about the DIY versus who did they go against again? The Motor City Machine Guns, right? They won that match. That was a joke. That was a joke. But they went against the Motor City Machine Guns. We saw the Street Profits come back. Look like, you know, even if that's the topic that we want to start with or stick with. Saw the Street Profits return. You know, lay waste to both of the tag teams, which is, you know, okay, cool. Going to see how that kind of build. But you got any? I don't.
Surgery.
Huh?
That's another thing. Bro just had surgery, so it's like.
Yeah.
He just had meniscus surgery. And
yes. So for sure, it's gonna be fun to kind of see how that go. I don't know if you got any thoughts on that match, Jay. I ain't want to pass on that opportunity.
My only thing is like I'm just glad they actually using the tag titles for once. Like it just. You know, I get it. It's tough. It's booking wise. You can't fit everybody on the show, and you can't fit every champion and give them time. But I'm just like, damn, like they got like you split the tag team titles up for what? Like you got to start using these shits. They're just getting held. Like nobody's doing anything. We're not actually trying to build up the tag team division again. Like I hope this is the start of it, though. Like, I'm hoping WrestleMania, maybe we see the Street Profits win something, or we see some type of switch, or anything. They got to start getting these tag teams together, using these guys, and letting them just fight. Like, they'll throw them out. Like, tag team.
Now, I agree. I think it's time for a new innovative, like, kind of tag team match. Not necessarily belts, not necessarily a whole event dedicated to it, but just an innovative tag team match. I don't know what that looks like, but I think we just need something where we're shaking it up. Better backstage promos, just extra stuff that we like to see, like Street Profits coming out, laying waste to the teams. Like, let's see more of that. Like, let's really start building these storylines, and I think the storylines get built when you start giving people like these moments, like Royal Rumble moments, WrestleMania moments. A WrestleMania moment isn't always about you winning, right? It's you showing up. If you come out and you lay waste to everybody, that's a WrestleMania moment, bro. They're gonna be talking about that. So I'm excited for the Street Profits. You know, obviously we all fans of the Street Profits, so it's gonna be interesting to. What happened?
Get the belts off the War Raiders.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? But that's also my thing that's always fun about being a WWE fan, right? Because we talk about moments and sometimes we don't like moments. And then like events like yesterday where the Final Four, the Royal Rumble was not a moment. The elimination of John Cena was not a moment. And that like all of that stuff that Royal Rumble yesterday was forgettable, right? Because they didn't give us the Final Four moment that we was looking for. They didn't give us the wild type of elimination that we was looking for, right? So when we get that, it's kind of like fans like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't want that. But then when we get the moments of like, oh, Charlotte Flair comes back and win, fans are like, oh my God, like these are moments. Why are we? So it's like, it's you damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think you got to start looking at specific storylines and asking yourself, all right, is this warranted of a moment, or what is this something where I would like to see something new? And then we got to always keep our business caps on too, right? Because their goal is to draw money, and certain matches draw money. And I know we want to see new things, so I think we got to appreciate in storylines where it's so out of the whack where we're going like, why are we getting this? Because we need those. Because the Charlotte Flair was expected. Like if that was on FanDuel, that would have been a minus 25,000 for her to win the Royal Rumble, right? Like, but Jey Uso probably would have been maybe a plus 100. He probably wouldn't have been the favorite to pick. So I like that the balance between storylines where you could go, all right, we build the moments here, we're trying new here. All right, we're going to try new over here. We're going to build moments over here because you got to have that balance. Fans love nostalgia. Fans love celebrity. Fans love wow moments too. So I think it's dope. But lastly, before we get up out of here, final topic for Paint to the Pit. I don't know if y'all saw it yesterday, but the new details were announced that WWE announced details for a new Evolve show on Tubi, which will compete with AEW's Dynamite. So the Tubi premiere will be on March 5th. The company announced after the Royal Rumble yesterday. So basically, Evolve is going to be a place where younger, evolving talent can go. I think they're positioning it as something like the step below like NXT and below SmackDown and Raw, but a place where the younger talent could go show their talent, develop their storylines. It will go head to head with AEW Dynamite, which appears on TBS, as we know. How do y'all feel about this move? Now WWE will have a show on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays now, and Fridays of each week. How do y'all feel about that move, specifically positioning it to compete with AEW Dynamite? And what does that move maybe look for the future, starting with you, O?
I think it's a waste of money. Of course, it's cool as a wrestling fan. You want to give the head ass answer and be like, "Oh, more wrestling." But me personally, like, all right, let these guys. Like, I get it. But enough is enough. We need to stop putting out so much product and focus on the product we have, because the product we have ain't that fucking great. So we know these
Oh
people
wow.
working behind the scenes.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, bro. I didn't think I was gonna completely disagree with you on the topic like this. But damn, bro. You think the W product is bad right now?
I don't think it's that good, if I'm being honest.
But what you judging it off of though? Before I like disagree, I need to know what you
The
like
product
what your
is
basis of it.
the champion. If you
But
think
like
y'all sit here every week and tell me that the WWE champion, the main guy, is mid, the product is mid.
yeah, but
Good
see,
point.
that's
Good
that.
point.
Yeah, that's a great point. But that's me though, right? That's us as individuals, right? If I listen, but no, bro, and I gotta play devil's advocate, because if I listen to Triple H after all of these events where they keep breaking merchandising records, they keep breaking box records, they keep breaking records after records, bro. I know we can sit here and say that title run is mid, bro, but when they're breaking and smashing all of their own records. Forget like comparing it to anybody else. They're breaking their own records. They broke a gate record yesterday for Royal Rumble. They like Triple H said that was one of the highest grossing events, just period of all time. So yeah, for me, I feel it's mid for my particular reasons, and we may all feel it's mid. But from a business standpoint, they're booming. From a fan engagement standpoint, they're booming. From interest to like internationally, they're booming. From whether it's bringing a Travis Scott along to do the theme, or whether you have I Show Speed in the Rumble, whether you have Kai Cenat in the Rumble, and then you building like these international
Definitely,
superstars. You bring a CM Punk back, bro. I'm just trying to name all of the reasons that if I was objective person listening to what you said, what I would say in response to that. Not that I necessarily agree, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate for pod discussion.
but all of that stuff like that don't really appeal to the real wrestling fans. That shit don't matter.
But see, based on who though, bro? Because at the
Like it,
same time,
Logan Paul, Steve,
somebody can call our pod mid, but if every pod we're breaking pod numbers, like we're getting more views than the last pod, our followers continue to go up. Like our numbers are continue to project, not even staying steady. They're like increasing at a rapid rate. At what point, as us as pod members say, all right, cool, you may feel our pod is trash. And there may be people out there that feel our pod is trash. But based on everything that we can, that's tangible, that we
also
can
about the
actually go to
WWE
a
numbers.
statistic, what happened?
Also about those WWE numbers. I hope they real.
But see now speculation is speculation, bro. But
But I don't want to get
but
into that. But a lot of
spe-
people been saying that shit be capped.
speculation is speculation, bro. But I
That's why I
can't.
don't even worry about those numbers that Triple H is putting out. I worry about the product
Hey,
and
bro. But like
this champ.
globally, but the touch, but the impact, like even as a wrestling fan, like just taking a step out of it, I don't think you can truly deny, bro. These things are becoming spectacle. Like Raw on Netflix, bro. That shit was getting covered by places that I'm like, yo, bro, I never even known you to talk about wrestling. Like, what you talking about wrestling? Like pods that I watch, like whether it's Good Morning America cover, like all of these places are covering it. And I think, especially when even if you look at the TKO stock, right? That's a tangible measure, bro. Like those are things we could look at and go, okay, like when the business is doing well, we know their stock is usually, again, I'm not no stock expert, but when business is doing well, I think we all understand stocks are usually going to be trending in an upper direction in terms of how much you got to pay for them. And those TKO stocks, I think they were saying, obviously, largely due to the Roman bloodline storyline, but those stocks, and I think that's why John Cena was calling Roman the GOAT with what he was able to do, seeing the stocks damn near quadruple from what they was like decades prior. So I think it's tough to say the product is mid. I agree personally. Like if you asking Dwayne Thomas, yes, I agree. I think a lot of it is mid right now. But again, being objective, bro, I think it's kind of tough for
But
me to.
maybe that kind of just highlights a little bit of the like how massive this corporation is, right? Because it seems like there's actually diving deeper into like how the fans feel. It's like you have I would say the consumers, which is maybe like young kids to say like 25 years old or something like that, right? And then you have like the actual wrestling part of the fans, like the wrestling fans, which is be like much more older guys like us. Like we watch the wrestling for the fights and what's happening. We don't really care.
Who's much
I need
older?
a Cody Rhodes shirt. Like,
Who's much older? The epidemic of young is 35 to 8. We still fit in the young epidemic
no,
name.
I know that, but I feel like the consumers is
Oh,
more like
wow.
towards the younger crowd, like the kids, because the kids are gonna buy the shirts and the pentamats, right?
Yeah,
Like they're gonna buy the
no.
titles. We care more about the
Oh,
sport than
that's
going to buy like let me get this Rey Mysterio mask or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear you. Like I said, I'm always gonna play devil advocate because we got a pod and we gotta have discussions on the pod. So that's not me just sitting here saying you like, yo, you bugging. Like I don't even know why you would think that. Like, nah, I understand it, bro. But I think for pod discussion, I think it's perfect. But yeah, I think just kind of moving forward with that. I don't know if I got your thoughts, Jay, with the Tubi deal and
Oh,
the announcement of that new show. Just how you feel
um,
about it?
I'm a little similar to O. I just worry about like the longevity of that because we kind of seen stuff like this a lot. They usually do like how many times have they done like these sort of like low tier developmental
who's
shows, the Velocity, like the Sunday Night Heat or something like that, or yeah,
Yeah,
205 Live. Like we seen
hundred
stuff
percent.
like that, and it just it works until it doesn't, right? Like I just worry about it catching on because to a degree, like okay, I don't think you're really gonna get the like we was just talking about, right? Like the consumer part of the base, right? Like the kids or like people that just want to be immersed in like that so-called WWE universe, right?
Yeah,
Whereas it it seems like it's supposed to be geared more towards the wrestling heads and people that want to watch these potential young guys grow and flourish and then maybe make it to NXT and beyond. But how many people is that, right?
Yeah.
If that's your base, you're most likely going to be heavily critiqued because these people only care about the wrestling. If the wrestling is dirt, it's not gonna hit, and that's
Yeah.
probably what it's going to be because these guys are young and they're learning and they're trying to grow and be a part of and run promos. Most of the stuff we see is probably going to be horrible. We probably going to watch somebody break an arm or two. So I would like to see it. I just worry about its longevity.
Yeah, I think on mine, I disagree with both of y'all. That's crazy. I think on my end, I like it. I like it for a lot of reasons, right? One, it's all about getting into a system, right? So if you're in the WWE system, you're within that system, bro. Like you're not going, with all due respect to any wrestling schools that are out there that are doing great work. You're not going to a wrestling school and then hoping somebody from that wrestling school got to connect with Triple H or somebody with Triple H, and then you can get a tryout and stuff. I think anytime you get somebody into your system, especially with you trying to target way more international stars, way more international territories, you're trying to go into these colleges. I know we saw before what they was talking about NIL deals and stuff. So I think anytime you can get someone in the system, new, fresh talent, I always think the more the merrier. Like the more you can get in, the more you can give opportunities to, the more people you can see within your system and you can develop. I think we live in a generation where the athleticism and the move sets in the ring are great, but these guys need a lot of camera work. These guys need a lot of promo work. These guys and women need a lot of promo work, need a lot of camera work, need more time to develop their skill set, and they get to do it within the WWE system, right? So you're going to now have access to those guys like The Undertaker or those guys like Shawn Michaels. I know they, still NXT and stuff, but now you starting to have access to WWE legends to where we are expediting the growth process, right? Because as much as we love Roman Reigns and as much as we love Seth Rollins and as much as we love CM Punk, bro, those guys all probably got less than a decade left.
Yeah.
If we being honest, less than a decade. And I think that's being generous with, especially with a guy like Roman, who we know has dealt with his personal, health issues and everything like that. So I think the more you can develop talent, the more you can put people in front of our face, especially for free. Tubi's a free app. You don't have to pay for this. So the more people you can put in front of our faces, especially I can just go on my phone and download and just watch this in my spare time. You ain't asking me to subscribe to anything. I think it's perfect, bro. I think the more you can, and I love going up against AEW. I love it. I love it because we obviously this is not going to be a Raw. This is not going to be a SmackDown. And I know a lot of us felt that way when NXT first came around, bro. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? What is Triple H doing? Like, is this like a segue show? Sometimes they position it as the third show. What really is it? And I think if I think now I got you, bro. I just think we got to let Triple H continue to cook. If we've been trusting what he's been laying down so far, if we've been Triple H, you've been going Triple, you've been going. Like I think we gotta watch it. It can end up being something that's just a waste of our time. I agree, but I do think as wrestling fans, getting attached to that next generation, even if we look at Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu, we naming two people, bro. We need more talent, bro. And for as quickly as the turnaround is in a lot of these wrestling promotions and people going to chase the money and people getting old or people getting to seek better opportunities because WWE is so global that they're going to do movies and shows and hosting gigs. And you see somebody like a Becky Lynch just go away, but we ain't even see that happening. It's like, all right, we need another cycle of, okay, who's next? How can I see him? Who should I watch for? It's on Tubi. Go watch that. You saw the new chick from Tubi. She was cooking up in that. Or you saw the new dude from Tubi. And I think with us, it's going to start feeling like more like high school basketball. You know how like when we talking to O and O will be like, yo, I'm telling you, Cayenne Anthony up next. And he in high school. So now we see Cayenne Anthony. Oh, okay, he dope. Brought his name to my attention. Now we're going to watch him at Syracuse. All right, cool. He cook at Syracuse. Now we're going to watch him in the league. And then at that point, we're way more invested into who that star is. Because we watch that star develop. As opposed to somebody we just, hey, I didn't even know you wrestle. Who are you? So I like it for a lot of those reasons, bro. And I love anything that's competing with other wrestling promotions, because I just feel like, healthy competition makes all promotions do better. So
Do better.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think AEW saw that news and was like, "Oh, word! All right, yo, let's try to step this up. Let's try to improve this. Let's try to change this." And as somebody that's not a avid AEW watcher, maybe this is something that can help turn that too. So you kind of never know. But I get y'all point. Again, it's not to say I don't understand y'all point. I always just feel like the more the merrier. Huh?
Honestly, I don't think nothing's saving AEW. They just gotta keep flowing.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. But I think this is blueprints for what AEW, if they continue to feel like they're building, like, because at the end of the day, regardless of what you feel, you have to build stars to sustain. I think in any kind of organization, you gotta be able to say, I build my own stars. And if AEW was to make a Hall of Fame right now, 95% of the Hall of Fame are WWE Hall of Famers, bro. And I don't think that's the way,
That's not.
the landmark you should want of your company. So I think AEW, because apparently, there's a lot of money to be spent, because Tony Khan has a lot of money allegedly. So start developing. Start developing. Start going into territories and making your own schools, or signing these deals with Tubi and stuff like that to do these things. But I'm looking forward to it. I know we had a lot to talk about today, episode 13. Yeetso Mania, Jey Uso going to the Mania, Charlotte Flair going to the Mania, Luka Doncic going to the Lakers. Fun time in wrestling, fun time in basketball. Thank y'all for rocking out with us. This is episode 13, Paint to the Pit. But before I go, our ending segment has always been our ending segment. Starting with you real quickly. Anybody from in wrestling and basketball that you want to give your shout outs to for the past 2 weeks, from wrestling and from basketball?
I want to give a shout out to Adam Silver.
Mm.
Oh, you an asshole.
He's single handedly ruining the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say
Yeah.
the fact that LaMelo was number one in All Star
Yeah.
votes for the fans,
Yeah.
number one, and I think he was number 2 or number 3 from the number. No, he was number 1 for the fans and NBA players.
Damn.
And he not an All Star.
Mm.
I'm just go ahead.
That's funny. Who you? Nobody. No shout outs in wrestling before we pass it to Jay. Anybody that you wanted to shout out in wrestling? Oh,
Jacob and Charlotte, best 2 wrestlers in the world.
That's right.
man, Samoan werewolf.
The werewolf is here.
Well,
I
was it
mean,
some promo?
the werewolf and the queen.
Tribal werewolf.
You know what I mean? The tribal werewolf. Come
Outside.
on. Well, what about you, Jay? Any shout outs from the paint to the pit?
Ain't to the pit, man. My shit's easy, man. John Cena. Shout out John Cena. John is back.
Yeah.
Just looking forward to how this is gonna turn out. It's his last year. The last Rumble. We gonna see how this plays out. Hopefully they make it fun, make it watchable, make it entertaining. So shout out John. On the NBA side, damn, I would love to say AD, but we know how that went. We know how that went. That's my favorite player, but man, we gonna see, man. We gonna see.
Yeah. It's exciting. I think for me to cap the episode off really quickly, for me, wrestling wise, Triple H going into the Hall of Fame, got to give that a shout out.
Oh yeah.
Definitely well deserved. Over here listening to music, I don't know what Omega doing, but shout out to Triple H for making it into the Hall. Well deserved, long overdue. I'm excited for his speech. Obviously, as us diehard wrestling fans, like, nobody is feeling like, oh,
Go.
Triple H just put himself into
The
the Hall
GOAT.
of Fame. Nah, he
The
deserves it.
GOAT.
So shout out to Triple H, man. Like, and thank you, Hunter, for making my wrestling childhood, being a part of my wrestling childhood, and now my wrestling adulthood, because you got your hands all over wrestling now too. So definitely deserving. From the NBA, gotta go Braun, man. Gotta go Braun to watch what Braun did. To watch what Braun did in the Garden yesterday at age 40, bro, is just still amazing to watch, man. The 30 point triple double, just doing whatever he wanted to do out there, bro. Like, and to do that in the Mecca, to do that in the Garden, in a game, obviously, where you don't have AD. Who would have thought that Philadelphia game was the last Bron and AD game together? That's just crazy to me. And AD got hurt in that game. So they last game together, AD got hurt in, which is I don't know how to wrap my mind around that part of it yet. But shout out to LeBron for continuing to show
That
us
sums up
what.
the pairing.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Bron for continuing to show us what hard work and dedication look like in the league, even at 40, bro. Because he was they was fooled. They was fooled in New York last night, and
Josh Hart
he
was
ain't play.
fooled.
Yeah, he ain't played. Josh Hart had a 20-point triple double. Shout out to him, but trying to put him on LeBron James is never gonna
Spin move.
it's never gonna work. Spin move, dunk on, and LeBron was like, "This is 40. This is 40." Yeah. Shout out to Bron though. So shout out to Bron. Shout out to Triple H. Shout out to us. I'm Dwayne. We got Jay. We got we all Paint to the Pit. Episode 13. See you next time. We are out. Yeet.